Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Coolin, MikeCoolin.com. That's MikeKollin.com. All right, so today we are going to talk about, it's kind of a restart, but it's going to be restart in the direction of talking to women, advertising to women, helping women understand, well, what is this all about? This is new. This is completely different. Every single client, male or female, who's walked in the door, taken my courses or one-on-one coaching is like, how come I've never heard this before? This is brand new. This is a different way of understanding each other. And in my opinion, it's the only way to actually understand each other. The reason being, I just got off the phone with a customer, and she was like, wow, I bet you were just completely sold out. And she's talking about my workshops and my seminars. And she's like, you really teach people how to actually relate and understand. I was like, yeah. Now here's the deal, guys and women. I say it's about communication, and it is. But the thing that guys don't know is your mating system has a nerve that connects to your right brain's communication processor, which turns women on. So it's about clarity and communication. It's about romance that leads to sex. Okay, guys? So it's a very sensual, very sexual, right brain, internal way of giving her mental stimulation and emotional fulfillment. Okay? So I think that's important to know, because a lot of guys don't understand why is communication so important. And let's start there. You know, I got a weird glare. Here, let me see if I can turn that down a little bit. Hold on. Sorry. So why is that so important? It's important because the male mating system is not wired the way the female mating system is. So when women say, oh, it's all about communication, well, ladies, he thinks you're talking about proper communication, as in what he learned in 9th grade English, like where to put the comma, don't do a comma splice, etc. Just speaking proper English, or whatever language you speak, Tagalog or Spanish. And as again, I'm not going to go so in detail on this. I'm going to actually shift to something else. But what I'm trying to say is we are literally speaking two different languages. This is why we don't understand each other. Now, here's something to help you understand even more. Men don't know that they don't know. They're like, what do you mean? I speak perfect English. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about right brain. So men are in their left logical male brain, processing in the logical processor, which is a different processor. It gives a different meaning to the words than the other brain, than the right brain, because the right brain is not a logical processor. It is the 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. So it is literally processing words and body language and tonality and tempo and rhythm and the richness, meaning descriptive languaging. That's the right brain, okay? So I'm just going to go from here. A lot of you guys have seen my older videos, so you may have heard some of this stuff, but I'm rewiring this, marketing and branding this for women at this point. And men, I'm still doing courses for you. I'm still doing one-on-one coaching, and my books are always on sale for you, and it's still on the website. So here's what's going on. So we have two different hemispheres, the left and right hemisphere, okay? So the left brain is the male brain. Men are born naturally using it without even realizing they're doing it. They're just born, they use it, that's it. It is a logical processor. So when words go through that processor, it's being filtered through logic. It's really good for math, business, science, anything like that. Driving a car, which is an external linear process. You got to follow rules. You got to know when to stop, and all that, which is very left brain. Okay, the right brain. So the left brain is like the IBM processor. It's linear, means it goes in a line, Linear, and it's external, outside of the body. So that's why men are always looking out there, and they always have that like question mark, that lost look. Okay, so when I teach men to be more internal, this is what's called knowing. So instead of believing and having faith, it's knowing. There's a difference, and it makes a woman feel a lot more content and comfortable and confident with you. Okay. So the right brain is the opposite processor. It's like the Apple computer. It is about colors and richness and flavors and sounds and smells and feelings. It processes through emotions and feelings. So when words go through there, including body language, it is technically going through what I would call an emotional or feeling processor. So now those words are being turned into feelings. And this is something that most men are like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean feelings? Words aren't feelings. To a woman, they are, or to anyone who's in their right brain, they are. Now, let me add this little piece in. So women go, so what do you do? So, well, I teach women how to understand what's going on and why men don't get it. And as you go more and more through my course, you're going to begin to realize, like, wow, he's not being a jerk. He's not uncaring, because that's what a lot of women think of. He doesn't care. He doesn't love me, which is a huge mistake that a lot of women make. That's the number one thing I work on with women, is to teach her the way a man expresses his love. The problem is she can't receive love in the way a male gives love, because it's the opposite way that she receives it. So that's one of the things I teach men, is how to open up to the right brain and speak the internal, mentally stimulating, and emotionally fulfilling language for romance, love, and clarity in everyday communication, okay? So until he takes my course, he's oblivious to it. And I get clients that, oh, I've been to this guy's course. I've been to the world famous so-and-so, and I went to Fiji, and I took this week-long training. I did everything. And then they take my course, they're like, oh, I see what was missing. Everything, okay? So here, let me give you one example. Okay, here we go. You're going to like this. So women are both left and right brain. So you have more nerves in the corpus callosum that connects the two hemispheres, okay? Which means you can go left, right, fast. I mean, just like that. You can be in your logical brain and then shift over to your right brain, the emotional, spiritual, creative brain, processing there. Now here's one of the biggest things that happens to every couple, whether man and woman, whether you're business associates, whether you're at work with, just your coworkers. A woman will be in their left brain, and he understands you because you're in the same processor. So A means A, and he's like, yeah, and he's on the same page. He understands you. Here's the challenge. A woman will go from the left brain and then in the middle of the conversation somewhere shift over to her right brain, because now she's trying to explain things more in depth, okay? But it's a different processor, and all of a sudden her words begin to come out differently, and he's looking at you like, what? And she'll say, oh, come on, keep up. I'm on a different page now. And I was even like, different page? What page? We're not even looking at a book. What are you talking about? Because the left brain is literal. The left brain says A, and it means A, and that's it. Period. But when a woman shifts, or anybody shifts to the right brain, A does not mean A. A now means something else, deeper, more meaningful, B. And this is what I teach men how to do. So ladies, when you shift over to the right brain, here's what's happening. He's still in his logical brain processing that way through the linear processor, right? It processes in a line, and again, it's through logic, which gives a different meaning to the same words. So when you shift over and you communicate out of your right brain's processor, he takes these same words and he brings them over to the left hemisphere, and he filters and processes it through logic, and it gives it a totally different meaning. So he really believes, because his brain is processing in this way and he's hearing this, that you're saying B, and you're over here going, no, I'm saying A. And he goes, yeah, you're saying B. And you're like, no, I'm saying A. And you guys will argue and argue and argue, and you're just like, God, what's wrong with him? Why doesn't he understand me? Because men are not wired the way a woman is wired. But here's the cool thing about this. He can learn how to open up to his right brain. And it's a series of techniques that I teach over and over and over, and it's something he has to practice. But it's not that hard. It's not like learning guitar lessons or getting a black belt. It doesn't take years to do it, but it does take work. So just to give you an idea of what my course is about, and this is just one tiny little bit, because it ends up leading into emotional fulfillment, sensuality, romantic, seductive communication that really gets a woman going. Now here's the other part. So let me wrap that up first. So basically what happens is we're speaking two different languages, left and right brain processors, let's say. The external versus the internal, mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling language. And what most guys don't do is they try to impress you, which disconnects you from your right brain. It forces you into your left brain, right, into your logic. They try to buy things. They try to do things external, right? like buy you a ring, right, or a thing, which is external. The problem is the female emotional system receives love internally through the right brain language and body language and way of being. Again, that's what I'll teach your husband or your boyfriend, etc., etc. And for single guys, you learn how to do this. Pick it up on women is easy. It is fast. It is fun. Here's the coolest part about it. They actually like it. They will relax around you. They'll just get quiet and they'll want to listen to you. All of a sudden, instead of women being repelled and like, that guy's weird and why does he talk that way, and he irritates me, I don't know, something about him I don't like, all of a sudden it flips the tables and she comes to you. She wants to talk to you. She'll get quiet. She'll go, and she'll encourage you. Okay? All of a sudden, dating women and meeting women becomes a fun thing and an easy and comfortable thing for guys to do. I highly recommend, if you're married or if you're dating single, get the book, Crack the Female Code. Go on my website, Mike Colleen, MikeKollin.com. Buy the book. Buy it now. It will change your life. There's no two ways about it. I promise you, every single person that's bought that book has been blown away. As I've said in other videos, I've got clients flying in from other countries coming in after they read that book. Okay? So ladies, your book is Why Men Just Don't Get It, and the other book is Every Woman's Battle, The Need for Love and Emotional Fulfillment. They're small books, but they're valuable books. They'll take this way farther than little videos like this, okay? So let me kind of give you a little bit more about what's going on between men and women. And so the other thing about it is the way that men, so number one, there's just clarity in communication, left brain, right brain. You say A, he brings it over here, he's hearing something opposite of what you're saying, and you get mad, and he's not listening is what you think. Really, he is listening, but he's doing it in the male way, which to the female system is like he's not listening. All right? Again, I go more in depth than that in the course. And for women, I really do more workshops, because women tend to enjoy it when there's a group of women and we can all talk about the differences, etc. So if you do have a small group or medium group to large group, I guess, I can show up wherever it is you guys are at, and we'll make this happen. It's a fun, stimulating conversation. It really gets your brain going, and you suddenly start to see men in a completely different light. The coolest thing in the world is men and women can actually understand each other. There's a process to get to that point, but it's real and it's very possible, and it's not that hard. There is some effort, there's some work, but it's fun, and it gets funner and funner as you move along. So let me go on to another aspect of, I'm not going to go to that part, the emotional fulfilling part. I'm going to go to this part. Oh yeah, I will say this, ladies, when you want emotional fulfillment, he buys things, he pays for dinners. Okay, this is it. So, okay, remember how I told you the left brain processes differently than the right brain? So when you say romance, you mean this. When he hears romance and it processes through here, he's not hearing that. He's hearing this. Romance to men is pulling out the chair, opening the door, paying for dinner, taking you to a nice venue, a nice restaurant or whatever, right? An opera. Romance is being a good boy, following the rules, being a good boy, submissive, let's just be honest about it. And eventually, if I follow these rules, I'm going to get sex. But what happens to most men? They pay for expensive dinners, and at the end of the night, she says, oh, I got a headache, I just want to go to bed. I already know right now, ladies are laughing at, oh, that's so true. Because he's trying hard. He's doing this linear closed door, and it's in his pupil. That's another thing. This closed door thing, and now it forces your brain closed, which disconnects you from your mating system, and it literally physically gives you a headache. I'll explain all that and why that happens, because he thinks that's the way to romance you. What most men don't know is that romance, guys, I want to be really blunt. All right, let's just do this. So remember how I said that the right brain, when a woman's in the right brain, the right brain is always looking for a deeper meaning. It's looking for something that's more meaningful, something more in depth. All right? The left brain does not do that. It says A and means A. That's it. Done. That's how men like it. We want it to be direct. We wish we could walk up to a pretty girl and say, I like you. I want to have sex with you. But a woman would be like, whoa, dude, back off. Men know they can't do that, but they don't know why. Okay? So the point being is, when a woman's in her left brain, she says A and means A, and she's being direct. She can do that, and she does do that, and you do that. But when a woman's in her right brain, she's looking for something more in depth. So here's how that works. She says A, but she doesn't mean A at all. She means something more in depth. That's more meaningful. Now that right there will make most men's brains explode. Why would you say A but not mean A and mean something the opposite B or something different B? I've seen men blow up at their wives. I've heard them yell at me, that's crazy. I had one client go, why would anyone ever do that in a million? I go, because it's romantic. She likes it. It's romantic. Because her mating system, again, its nerve curves off to her right brain. So when you learn how to communicate in this, what's called the indirect language, the beat around the bush language. Now, a lot of guys' heads are probably exploding right now going, wait a minute, you mean they beat around the bush on purpose? Yes, because it turns them on. Here's an example. All right, ladies. All right, so this is what I was telling a lady on the phone. All right, so a guy is direct. And here's the thing, a lot of women, when a man is trying to be helpful from his heart, they get, oh my God, that guy's so cold and uncaring. He's not thoughtful. Technically, you're right, but he is caring. But he's not thoughtful, which is the right brain way of thinking, okay? The left brain is the external brain. It means dissociated. And I will go more in depth in that in the course, because part of what I do is I teach men to be in the right brain, to be in the present moment, because that's the five senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. So you're in the present moment, okay? The left brain doesn't do that. It's about being external. It's about being disconnected from self, literally. And that's why a lot of women don't like being around that, guys, because now she gets disconnected, because once she's around you, we gain rapport unconsciously. Now she's feeling not grounded, not complete. No, she's up in her head. Not good, guys. So, and yes, ladies, I teach guys how to be more grounded, more internal, so you can be more grounded too, all right? So here's what happens. The male brain is the dissociated brain. It's the disconnected brain. It's about logically, analytically, like from the outside looking in, all right? Where what I do with men is I flip that around to where they're inside and they're experiencing the world from the same space that you're in, okay? So men have a hard time associating or stepping into another person's shoes. And I mean truly seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it from that person's experience, from their perspective. So a guy will walk up to a friend, a girl, meaning well, and walking up and they're going to be direct and say, hey, you know, you're overweight. And they'll do it in front of their friends and family thinking I'm doing a good thing. I'm walking up to Sally and I'm telling her that she's overweight. She needs to lose weight. And they'll say that direct, believe it or not. Now guys are going, well, what other way would you say it? Well, follow along. So he walks up and tells her, like, you know, you're overweight. You really need to lose weight. You know, you should go to the gym and you should get on a better diet and nutrition program. You need to lose 25 pounds. And all of a sudden his wife or girlfriend or sister goes, oh my God, dude, what's wrong with you? And all the girls are like, oh my God, you asshole. He's like, whoa, what? I'm just trying to help. Like, really? Like, she doesn't know she's overweight already, dude? Like, come on, seriously? So here's the thing, ladies. Believe it or not, but he is trying to help and he does care. The challenge is he doesn't realize what that would sound like. And then a woman goes like, we'll say, well, how would you like it if I walked up to you in front of your friends and said you're fat and you got to lose weight and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I think it would, because he's still seeing it from his perspective. Well, and he did. He meant it from a good space. He meant it from his heart. He was trying to help, legitimately. And so when you say to him, well, how would you like it if I said that to you in front of your friends and family? He'd be like, it wouldn't bother me at all. It would if you actually did something that embarrassed him. But in that moment, he's still saying, well, I was trying to be helpful. Now he's going, well, you're trying to be helpful. But she's not seeing it from her perspective. So guys are like, okay, well, how would you do it? Well, here's how you do it. You say it indirectly. You beat around the bush, because in the female brain, in the female world, in the female community, it's not polite to walk up to Sally in public in front of her family and friends and say you're fat and you're overweight. You need to go lose weight. That's rude. Here's how you say it. You say, you know, Sarah joined the gym 3 months ago and she lost 20 pounds. She looks great. She's eating more vitamins, more nutritious vegetables, and she's on this really simple diet program. She only goes to the gym for 35, 40 minutes and she does this cardio, and then she stretches for 20 minutes and blah, blah, blah. She looks great. Wink, wink. I said so-and-so joined the gym and she looks great. But in the female world, guys, believe it or not, do you know what I just said? I just said that you should join the gym and that you should get on the diet program and that you should eat more healthier. But I didn't say it direct. I said it about another person, and her brain, that's how the right brain. So the female brain goes, okay, he's saying A, what does he really mean? Oh, he's politely, now what? Now all of a sudden it becomes polite. He's politely telling me to join the gym, to lose weight, here's the way to do it, and here's how so-and-so did it, and you can do it too, and it's easy. That is not only the polite way to talk to people, but as I go in depth in the course, I can teach you how to use that same thing to trigger her mating system that not only fulfills and melts her heart emotionally, she'll understand you and it'll turn her on. This is romantic seduction to a woman. Paying for dinner, and ladies, I want to tell you this. A lot of guys think, well, I just spent $200 on an expensive steak and I was on a plate and there was expensive silverware. What do you mean she's not going to have sex with me? Guys, that's, okay, a dead piece of meat, guys, that's not romance. Opening the door, that's not romance. It's nice, but nice isn't romance. Okay, again, when men hear the word romance, they think follow the rules, because the left brain is about rules, structure, and organization. It's really good at following that stuff. But the right brain is about emotions and feelings, the opposite of rules. So opening doors, paying for dinner, getting your car waxed, buying chrome rims, getting a haircut, wearing a nice dress shirt, and looking sharp, that's all male. Because remember, as I said in all my other videos, the male mating system's nerve connects to his eyes, his optic nerve, which connects to his eyes. So things that are visual, like paying for dinner, getting your car waxed, buying chrome rims, getting a nice haircut, wearing a dress shirt, and looking spiffy, that's all visual stimulation. Here's the thing, guys. Women know that they need to flip their hair and wear earrings and lipstick and all that stuff because it's visual. It's visual stimulation, and they have to swivel their hips and all that stuff and dress really nice to attract. Women know how to attract you. Problem is, you don't know how to attract women. All right? And I said in my last video, a lot of guys rely on making money. Well, the more money I make, the prettier woman I get. There is some truth to that, but here's the problem. Let's say this is money. She's marrying the money, not you. That's the problem. And then you get all hurt and pissed when she divorces you and takes half the house and half the kids and half the car, or however that works out, because you didn't communicate in what's called emotional fulfillment. You do that, and she's marrying you for you. And that's what you want, okay? Every woman wants a man that knows how to communicate. What? I speak perfect English. No, communicate. I just said A, but I really meant something deeper. Romance. And again, romance is XXX rated. But it doesn't sound XXX rated. You're saying A, you could say it in public, sounds polite. But it really means something else over here. And that's the code. That's why I call it Crack the Female Code. So I tell you, I'm going to give you one more little vignette, one little piece. All right, because this will really hit home for a lot of people, especially women and men, actually. So, I'm talking about left brain, right brain processing and all the difference in how we're wired. Our mating systems are wired in two different places, and we receive emotions in the opposite way, or love and emotional fulfillment. All right. Here's a very typical experience between a couple, married, man or woman, or just people who live together, dating relationships, etc. So the man comes home from work or school or whatever, and the wife or girlfriend innocently says, "So how was your day, honey?" And he looks at her, "Oh, it was okay. Well, it was fine. Yeah, it was good. Had a good day." And so he goes in the kitchen, washes his hand, or makes a sandwich, or whatever. And believe it or not, guys, but this is the number one reason why women do. It's one of the top reasons why women don't believe you love them. The other one is because you don't communicate emotional fulfillment. That's really the real one. So she comes into the kitchen a minute later, or 2 minutes or whatever, and says, "Well, how was your day?" And you look at her like, "I just told you it was fine. It was okay. It was good." And she's kind of, okay, well, in her mind, her right brain, she's going, "Why wouldn't he tell me? What does that mean?" Right? And so then maybe a minute or 2 or 4 minutes or whatever, she'll finally walk up a little more determined. "Well, how was your day?" And you're like, "I just told you twice. It was fine. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was okay. What do you want from me?" And then I sneak in and I say, "She wants the details." Let me back up, because most men go, "What do you want from me? Do you want the details?" And then I step in and go, "Yes, she wants the details." And here's why. The right brain understands This is the female brain. She's born using this brain. Women are both left and right. So that's another story. Get into that later. But she does need the details. In order for her to understand you, she has to have an emotional experience of what you just said to her. Otherwise, she's completely lost. She literally has a blank. Like, there's nothing there. It's like this picture. If you don't describe it in detail, the colors, the feathers, the lips, the stripe in the lip, in detail, here's what she's going to have. She's going to have like a blank white wall. Like there's nothing there. Because the right brain understands by describing each piece of the puzzle in detail, and then the next one, and connecting it, and then the next one, and connecting the next one to the bigger picture. The problem is the male brain is the opposite of that. It's designed to get to the point. A means A. That's it. There's nothing else to it, right? And so the left brain, so the right brain is about the bigger picture, putting the pieces of the puzzle like a puzzle, literally, and seeing the bigger picture. Like, oh wow, like this big picture behind me. Okay, that's actually why I put that there. To be honest with you, what a man will do, the male brain looks like he's looking under the microscope. Okay, and he's seeing just a little tiny piece, a piece of the puzzle, not even the whole piece of the puzzle. In fact, the further he goes to the left, the smaller he's looking at. And the left brain is designed to use a phrase, a word, or if you're lucky, a whole complete sentence in communication. I know women are laughing right now, like, God, that's so true. It's like I barely can get a word or a sentence out of him. Guys, I've heard this for decades. Okay, I've been teaching this course for a long time. So there's a huge challenge going between men and women. She understands by describing in depth the details to the bigger picture. Men understand by just giving you, now here's why. We're looking under a microscope, all right? Ladies, you ever notice a lot of men, their face is kind of like this, and they're stiff and mechanical, and their pupils are really tiny. The smaller the pupil, the further he is in the left brain. So if it's a little bit not so tiny, he is left brain, but not so. A little bit more left brain, but a little bit more open, a little bigger picture. And if it's kind of enlarging, that's a guy that's probably open to his right brain. Now, when I take my clients through the course, when they pop open, they're just like, what is this? Like, whoa, I go, that's your right brain. Now you're perceiving the world from the same perspective she's seeing it from. Now you can understand women. Now you can have a conversation with a woman and be on the same page and understand each other, okay? So I was going to give you one more piece about that. So it's about the details, the microscope. So ultimately, like I said, one thing I do is I open men up to the right brain to communicate the right brain language for emotional fulfillment, meaningfulness, the bigger picture, so she can understand what the hell you're saying. And so that's the part. It was about explaining things in depth. So the male brain it's like it's looking under a microscope. Okay, here's what it was. Sorry. So here's the deal. Now this is another piece. I'm going to end it with this. So in the back is the visual cortex. For men, it's a lot larger. It's more developed. The right brain for females is more developed. That's another story, and that's going to be in the book Why Men Just Don't Get It, or in Crack the Female Code for Men. I do recommend getting your perspective books because I wrote each book for the Why Men Just Don't Get It and Emotional Fulfillment. Those two books, the gold books, I wrote it for the female brain so she can understand it. The wording is female. The male book is the Crack the Female Code, okay? So here's the deal. The reason why the male brain, visual cortex is enlarged and more developed is because for thousands of years, men were the one that had to go out and hunt. And I know it's not the same now by any means. It's very mixed. But our systems are still wired the same way and developed the same way. This will take thousands of years to change. It's not going to change for a long time. We're going through a process, but we're at the very, very beginning of this process, and it's going to take a long time, okay? So here's the deal. When men go hunting, they can't go, hey, Jim, the deer's over there. What do you think the deer's going to do when you're hunting? It's going to freaking run the minute it hears you. That's why you got to sneak up on animals if you want to feed your family. So if you yell at Jim, who's 40 feet or 40 yards away, the deer's over there. Well, the deer hears you, runs, and guess what? You go home empty-handed, and your wife and your children don't get to eat for that night. And she's not going to be very happy. So because of war, same thing in war, you can't just yell and say the enemy's over there. Well, now the enemy knows where you are and they start shooting at you and they kill you. So men had to develop a highly developed visual system and form of communication. So a man can look at another man and nod, and that literally just communicated 1,000 words. Have you ever heard the phrase? I always say this wrong. It's a picture says 1,000 words. And most people say, well, yeah, I've heard that. Well, that's a male phrase. Because what happens is, when I look and nod, that guy, he can feel, he has an impact of what I'm saying with just a nod and a look. That's it. With an expression, maybe a hand gesture. That's it. See, let me say it this way. One thing I teach men is in order for a woman to understand you, she has to have an emotional experience of what you're saying. And that's through descriptive, in-depth detail, describing every little piece of the puzzle and building it up. And then she can understand you. Because now she can feel what you're feeling. And that's all she wants. So here's what happens. Husband comes home. Let's say there's 10 guys in the room, and then there's your wife and maybe her friend, right? A female friend. He walks in the room and you say, how was your day, honey? He goes, oh, it was fine. It was good. Those guys got a feeling, like an impact, and have a sense of where you're at. Is he pissed? Is he in good mood? Is he mad? Where's he at? Oh, he seems pretty cool. That's a good feeling. Okay, I like that. Women are like, really? They can feel like, yes. Women need you to describe, well, I feel a solid feeling inside. It's heavy. It's light. It's spinning clockwise. It's giving off sparks. You have to describe stuff in a way that she can begin to feel this. And this is something we learned in NLP on descriptive languaging. I call it, it's not something that men usually do, okay? And it's very hard for men to do. But the thing is, once you get it, it's super easy. So he walks in the room, how was your day? The husband goes, it was good. All the men, boom, they had a feeling. Because, again, remember, the male brain was designed on purpose to get to the point. So we communicate in a word, a phrase, or if you're lucky, a sentence or two. And that's it. Because it's all about that visual presence of the look he gives and the movement. And the guys, boom, that's picture says 1,000 words. They just got all that communication. A woman doesn't. And that's why men and women don't understand each other. He's looking at you. I just told you I had a great day. What do you want? Do you want the details? And again, I sneak in and say, yes, she needs the details in order to understand you. Now, learning how to communicate in the details, that's a more in-depth process. I highly recommend, again, Crack the Female Code, guys. And really, to learn the communication skills, it's my course. It's either the one-on-one or come to the trainings, okay? I think that's pretty much it. That gives you an idea of what this course is about and what you can learn from it and how it's going to change your life. So remember, guys, romance is really about XXX rated communication, but it's done in the indirect, beat around the bush, internal, mentally stimulating, and emotionally fulfilling language and body language. That's another thing I have to teach guys, is how to open up and use this right brain body language. Here's the really cool part about it. It gives you more social power. Everything you learn about how to understand a woman, you can apply to business, your social life, relating to, understanding, and communicating to other people, and that will move you up the ladder. Hey, this is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com, MikeKollin.com. Ladies, buy the books, Why Men Just Don't Get It, and Every Woman's Battle, The Need for Love and Emotional Fulfillment. Right now, they're gold books. Men, start with Crack the Female Code. Since it's Black Friday, guys, and remember, the code is Black Friday, one word. You get 50% off any of the books. I highly recommend you get the ultimate package. It's going to be $50. It's never been that cheap. That's a huge. You get all my books. Crack the Female Code, Sex Signals, which is really women's body language saying, come talk to me, don't, I'm interested, I'm really interested. And then Get the Girl, Keep the Girl. That's another important book because it teaches the internal way. I've never written it, never explained it in a book. That's the first time I've done that, okay? And you also get the bonus, and let's see, you get to talk to me on the phone to answer any questions that you have, but you have to at least read the book, Crack the Female Code, first, and then you can give me a call. Ladies, I'll throw in a phone call for you if you read the books, Why Men Just Don't Get It, and Every Woman's Battle, The Need for Love and Emotional Fulfillment. If you have questions, I'll throw an hour in two for you too, all right? This is Mike Colleen. I will see you at an upcoming workshop, MikeKollin.com. Bye.